Mecum Auctions is in Effingham, Illinois, the home of Mid-America Motorworks. And for anybody who's been familiar with Volkswagens or Corvettes for any length of time, probably familiar with that name. Now, this is a place where, for the last 50 years, anybody in the Volkswagen or Corvette community came to get their parts and accessories. And the man behind this, Mike Yager. This is a fellow who has a long list of VIP friends and acquaintances. And not only the retail business, but also the events that he holds here at this sprawling community, very impressive. And right now, we're going to go into his museum and see the man. Hello, Mike.
Hey, stranger. It's been a number of years. A little bit brighter here today with you here.
Oh,
so
I appreciate that.
Thanks for showing up again.
Mike, while we're here, we're going to talk about the cars and the automotive hardware you're bringing to Kissimmee in January. But before that, you're going into retirement. I was kind of surprised. What led to that?
Dana and I have been friends for years and couldn't think of a better organization, a better place to do it than Kissimmee. So that's the start of my journey into retirement.
You have built an unbelievable organization here. You've been doing it for so long. A lot of memories here for you, aren't there?
52 years worth of collecting stuff.
You began with Corvettes, parts, accessories, and then moved to Volkswagens. How did that happen?
74, we started with Corvette, and youngest of a big family, older brothers with cars, and I had a brother that had a salvage yard with over 1,300 Type 1s and 300 Type 2s, and he said, you know, you're looking to get into other businesses, consider Volkswagen.
We're going to take a look at the cars and some of the consignments you're going to be bringing to Kissimmee, and I think everybody is going to enjoy seeing them. The first one is a movie star from Herbie Fully Loaded. I saw that movie. It's a Volkswagen Bug, but there's a lot more to the story than that. How did you get the car?
Well, we were fortunate. We supplied all the parts for all the Volkswagens they did for the movie, and because we were so timely in getting them parts at the end of filming, end of production, they gave us Herbie.
And this is the actual car that we saw in the film.
The actual car.
Now, what are some of the special features on this car that take it away from an original Volkswagen Beetle?
Obviously, the pearlescent paint, flares, scoops, wing, sound systems. Got a little bit of everything in it to bring it up to speed, but still keep the vintage Disney, the vintage Herbie feel.
And does it have the original engine? And I mean, that hasn't been souped up, I guess.
Oh, yes, it has.
Oh, it has?
Yeah, it's a fast little machine.
Mike, anybody who regularly watches the Mecum Auctions knows whenever a C4 ZR1 hits the block, I sit up in my chair a little higher. I love these cars. You've got a couple. I want to start with this one. This is not a 1990 C4 ZR1, which was the production year. This is the 1989 prototype. Tell us the story here.
Well, you know, we raced with Chevy during the C4 production run, knew that the LT5 ZR1 was coming out. First, I had car number 30, drove it for 6 or 8 months, used to the flat dash, and then they rolled it up to 1990. Interesting, even though it's a pre-production car, it's serial number 80, we ran the service on this. We had some warranty work done on it. This still stays within Chevrolet's serial numbers of warranty work on it.
Such excellent sports cars. These were the highest production Corvette in terms of horsepower. In 1990, 375 out of the LT5. They all had the 6-speed manual transmissions. The thing about this car, though, is Lotus was involved in the R&D on the ZR1 Corvette, and this car was found somewhere in England, wasn't it?
Found in Lotus's scrapyard. There's a bunch of them there.
Now, what would have happened had you not come along and saved that car?
It'd probably still be in that scrapyard. Would not be part of Corvette's history. The engineering group at Chevrolet just did a phenomenal job on this car, and I think that now that I know that you're the buyer of this car, this is exciting for me.
Well, Dave McClellan is a hero in my book, the chief engineer at Chevrolet when this car was being developed. And might I say, you have another C4 ZR1, a 1990, a production car. Tell us a little about that car.
It's a cool car. It's an 8,000 mile, obviously a ZR1 manual transmission.
I've seen the car, love the color scheme.
Thanks, I do too.
Yeah, that black, you just can't beat it. Mike, some of the cars you bring in the Kissimmee aren't really cars. They're kind of like parts of cars, or cars with their clothes off, like this 1967 C2 chassis.
I've never heard of a car with its clothes off, Bill, but that's a good comment. We restored this a number of years ago to NCRS specs, and you know, the My Garage Museum is open to the public. So a lot of our customers come through here, they're restoring a car, and they want to know how something is or should be, as well as we use this a lot to show kids how cars are put together. And so that's part of the chassis here. That's what we're doing.
GM definitely got their money's worth out of this chassis.
No
design.
kidding.
Yeah.
And we have Zora watching over, so what more could you ask for?
Mike, one of the things I love about your museum, you have items here that many people have never seen before and really trace the history of the Corvette, what was happening behind the scenes. Now, the Aerovette was a concept for a mid-engine car that never made it to production, but Chevrolet put some time and attention into designing the car and actually working in the wind tunnel. Is that what we're looking at here?
It sure is. This was an item we found on eBay in the early years, and my good friend Nathan Sheets said, Mike, you need that for your collection. And having the association that we've had for the years with Zora, I'm thinking this was his heart and soul, a mid-engine Corvette. So here it is. It's interesting, if you look at the wheels, they're slotted so this body can be raised up and down. So looking at the wind tunnel, the air coming over the car, it's one of those things that if you're a Corvette person and you like history, who else has one of these? And you know, that's why we trust Dana in selling this to the next person that's going to conserve this as part of Corvette's history.
Mike, these three engines are from Corvette Challenge cars. First of all, what's the Challenge Series that we hear about?
Well, Corvette had won every SCCA race from 85 to 87, and they got thrown out of the series, so some other manufacturer would have a chance to win a race. So in 88, they had a dedicated series of nothing but showroom stock Corvettes. They put these engines in them. They were all sealed, and you can see all the bolts on them where they would seal them. So there's rumors that race car drivers and teams cheat, and if they broke the seal, they could run a light over it and tell if it had been opened up or not. So these are engines out of the series, spare engines. This was an actual race motor. They would go in just randomly and pull someone's motor and put a new motor in it. So they kept them as equal as possible.
And not a lot of modifications in these engines.
To this day, we still don't know what they did to these engines. They're a little more horsepower than normal. I think they were really precursors to the LT1. So these are L98 engines. And as a series sponsor, I'm kind of in love with Corvette Challenge stuff. So this is a few of my extra parts.
And they'll be going to Kissimmee in January.
They will.
Now, right behind you, this is an engine that brings back memories for me. John Z. DeLorean at Chevrolet wanted to give the Vega a little bit more pop and decided to go with a four-cylinder, twin-cam engine that put out more horsepower than any Vega should have from the factory.
Well, this is a cool engine. It's a cutaway engine, a show engine.
Well, they didn't make many of those Cosworth Vegas, but people who have owned them will tell you that they could really run pretty well.
I mean, if you look at this engine and think of a Vega, you have one thought. It's kind of like Corvette and Volkswagen, as we've talked, but you look at the engineering, the design on this thing, it's just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, overhead cams, tubular exhaust. Yep, that's race ready.
It's ready to go.
Speaking of race ready, I remember back when the GTP series was so red hot in IMSA, and you had not only Chevrolet, the Corvettes, but you had Nissan and Jaguar, of course, Porsche. This is the engine that the Corvette GTPs were powered by.
V6 with one whale of a lot of horsepower. I think when the GTP Corvette was running, it was either the fastest car or on the pole of every race. And it was a tremendous engine, tremendous program. Rick Hendrick was behind that, and Rick was so kind one time, he even gave me a GTP Corvette for my museum. It was sat here for 6 years.
How about this now? We're all familiar with the production ZR1 engine, the LT5. This is the precursor here.
This is a phase 1 motor, and this really interesting is when you look at it, you see the runners are all hand cast, welded. This engine set on a dyno. To my knowledge, this was never in a car. This was a dyno engine. You look at the cam covers, they're totally different. Everything on this engine, handmade, early fabrications. Even the oil filter sets at an angle. When we get to the production engine, phase 7, this sets up, the cam covers are solid versus individual slots. So again, someone's going to have the good fortune of 2 awesome engines going from my garage to theirs, and that'll make me happy. Sad, but happy at the same time.
Well, let's go to the production LT5. And you know, this was a game changer for Corvette, Mike, because up until this time period, Corvette engines, even the more sophisticated fuel-injected cars, had pretty, you might say, prosaic engineering in them, nothing too sophisticated. This engine changed the whole game.
Totally different, a lot more horsepower. And you're right, not a normal Corvette engine.
Not at all. Well, Mike, these engines, we get a good look at the exterior, but you got one more engine to show us that's gonna show us a little bit of the voodoo in these engines. Mike, all I can say is I would love to have this in my man cave. What are we looking at here?
Well, this is a early big block cutaway show motor. Probably my favorite in my collection. When I look at the functionality of this motor and just how you can see how an engine operates, this is cool. And if you look at the colors on it, you know it's a 60s colors. We've got purple over here and orange and all the right colors for that era. But just a tremendous piece in the collection. We love to have kids look at this to see how an internal combustion engine runs. So, nice piece.
Yeah, we see the valve train actuating here, this cutaways, you see the pistons going up and down. Even the rotor in the distributor, you can see that spinning around.
Well, you know, when you're sitting over there in your man cave watching this run and the blue ZR1 right here, nice, I like that, Bill. Fits you well.
I'll be at the auction. We'll see what happens. Well, even I know these are not high-performance Chevrolet engines. These are horizontally opposed 4-cylinder Volkswagen engines. You've got several here. Talk about each one. What's this one?
Well, this will get you about 40 miles an hour in fourth gear. This is a 26 horse. This is an early engine used for dealer training, and just a phenomenal engine and how it's cut away, what you can see, how it works. And, you know, they varied the colors so you could see each individual section. And my favorite of all my engines, this real close to the top, but I think I've said that about everything in here, Bill. They're all my favorites. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's for sure. But you know, Mid-America Motor Works specializes in parts for the air-cooled Volkswagen engines. And we have another one here, this one with a transaxle attached. What's that?
That's a little newer engine. That's a little more horsepower. You may be up to 65 miles an hour in fourth gear on that one. You're really rocking and rolling. But again, the same concept, cutaway, how does an engine work? They're excellent showpieces. I'm sure these have made their circuit to the German auto shows over the years, and just cool pieces.
Now this one, this has been hot rodded, obviously, right here, and it's got labels on it so that you actually know what you're looking at.
Well, this is a modern engine, has a lot of the high performance parts that we sell for today's Volkswagen crowd. So, you know, it's kind of an interesting story. No horsepower, a little more horsepower, a lot of horsepower. And you know, some of these converted Volkswagen engines, they push those little bugs down the drag strip at a pretty quick clip.
Oh yeah, I've seen them. Now, let's move over here because we see one of these cutaway engines sitting in a cutaway chassis from a very early Volkswagen Bug.
If you run the chassis number on this, this is a 49 chassis cutaway. You can really see how all the cabling works on this thing.
Now, how many air-cooled Volkswagens were produced over the years?
Over 29 million. That's kind of a good customer base. Throughout the year, we have thousands of people coming through the museum, and this is always a favorite.
Of all those 29 million, this may be the only one.
I would venture to say I've never seen another one. So, can't say it's one of one, but I bet you it's close to that.
Mike, I would have to say that this Corvette right here might be my favorite from all the ones you're bringing to Kissimmee. What a great story behind it. Tell everybody what we're looking at.
In my career, 52 years plus in the Corvette hobby, this is my absolute favorite car. This has family memories, memories to the day that I sent Jim Perkins a letter asking if I could buy the car, and he immediately said yes. Then we started planning the car. I wanted a blue car with a red interior and a white stripe on it, and Chevrolet said you can have anything you want as long as it's white and medium gray and an automatic. This is such a special car. When this car was being built, we filmed it from birdcage to rolling off the assembly line. Everybody in the plant that day signed the car. There's 2,000 to 3,000 signatures on this car. There's just so much history behind this car, and to me, an important part of this car is not only is it the last C4 Corvette made, it also has the last cast iron small block from 1955 to 1996. Every Corvette small block had an engine out of Flint, Michigan. This has the last one in it. We've got a lot of documentation on this car and emotion. When we introduced this at the National Corvette Museum, we also did the interment of the ashes of Zora Duntop. So that was a powerful day, the last C4 and the last tribute to Zora. So this car's just flooded with memories for me and my family.
Speaking of history, I want to bring in an old friend of yours that has shared quite a bit of history with you over the years. It's your good friend, Dana Mecum, and I'm sure he'd like to extend his best wishes for that upcoming retirement.
Hi, Mike. Good to see you, buddy.
Always great to see you, Dana.
Yeah.
Dana, tell us about the end of an era, you might say, when Mike finally goes into retirement.
Well, I don't think it's the end of an era. I think Mike will find a new beginning. He's selling off a lot of his treasure that's taken him a lifetime. But the bigger thing is, we're going to sell his artifacts. It's going to be the largest disbursement of Corvette history, memorabilia, and artifacts that's ever taken place. These things are treasures. They should be coveted, and they will go to homes where people love this stuff.
And it's not the end of Mid-America Motor Works. Your son, Mike, who practically grew up with all of this, is going to be taking the wheel, if you will.
Well, he's doing and has done a great job, and I have to step back and let him succeed.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Dana. And we'll see these two gentlemen, along with literally thousands of consignments from Mike Yager and Mid-America Motor Works, when we get to Kissimmee in January, the world's largest collector car auction. We hope you can join us there, and if you can't, we'll be streaming live on ESPN+. Till then, we'll see you then.